The four robbers ran out of the bank, hurriedly got into the taxi they had arranged in advance, and then asked the driver to drive. But Uncle Da told him that there were only 3 passengers, but now there was one more person. Seeing that Uncle Da was reluctant to drive, the robber put a pistol to his head. Uncle Da told them that everything was calculated, and the extra weight would lead to insufficient fuel in the car and affect the control of the vehicle. Unable to escape the pursuit of the police. And the vehicle is equipped with a password, so only he can drive the vehicle. Seeing that the police were about to arrive, the robber roared angrily, shot his companion in the back row away, and threw him out of the car. De Chauffé was very satisfied and told them to fasten their seat belts, then press the password and enter the password. The vehicle instantly started accelerator, stepped on the gear and drifted, escaping the police car, and then drove into an alley. The police car was chasing after him, weaving back and forth in the narrow alley, drifting in reverse and driving out of the alley. Then he hit the accelerator and rushed to the city road. He turned into the opposite lane and bypassed the oncoming cars. The chasing police cars were blocked behind. Uncle Da turned around and returned to the original driveway. The robbers looked proud and did not forget to make international friendly gestures. Just when they were excited, they met an old police officer passing by. The police officer quickly took out his police lights and placed them on the roof of the car and began to chase. Uncle Da saw that he couldn't pass in front of him, so he turned and rushed onto the sidewalk. The old policeman was not a vegetarian, so he kept pace with him. But Uncle Da was still a little faster, and the old police officer was blocked by the lifting pile. At this time, the police and criminals in the car were thrown out. Uncle Da saw that the police car was chasing him, so he quickly closed the window and continued to set off, but was blocked by a garbage truck. Police cars also gave chase. Uncle Da turned his head back and saw a trailer approaching. He stepped on the accelerator, and thick white smoke came out of the wheels. He saw the right moment and released the brakes. The car rushed out from the bridge and landed steadily on the trailer. But he still couldn't get rid of the pursuit. He picked up a pistol, unhooked the car and knocked it off, reversed off the trailer, then increased the accelerator to chase a train that was about to stop, bypassed the locomotive and finally escaped pursuit. After arriving at the destination, I got my reward smoothly. Not long after, he received his second order, but a tire blew out during the delivery. When he went to get the spare tire, he found that the goods were still moving, and when he opened the zipper, it turned out to be a woman. The second shipment delivered by Uncle Da turned out to be a woman. Just as he was returning from the mission to buy a bottle of water, the car turned into a pile of scrap metal with an explosion. Uncle Da was also blown away by trees. He angrily threw Fatty to the ground, and then quickly slapped away the flames on his body. It turned out that the employer discovered that Uncle Da violated the regulations, opened the package, and asked him to transport the package containing the bomb. At this time, Uncle Da was completely irritated. He returned to the delivery location and kicked the person and the door away. I saw someone breaking into the house and quickly drew a gun and shot. Uncle Da hid sideways behind the door panel, then rolled up and pulled up the tablecloth, swept it horizontally, and gave them a big hand behind his back. He took the pistol from the air, bang bang bang, knocked them to the ground with 2 shots, and turned around to look for them. As soon as the boss went out, the killer knocked off his pistol with an axe. The killer even easily dodged the axe attack. The uncle found the right moment and knocked him down with a side kick. As soon as he turned around, another axe was swung. Uncle Guanda was attacked from both sides and then showed some Chinese kung fu. Go. 4. But they didn't say anything. Wu Da came over with a submachine gun and shot. Uncle Da quickly dodged, and then took advantage of him to relax his vigilance. He flew forward quickly and kicked him away. The uncle picked up the gun, looked at the innocent expression on his face, swung the gun and fired a circle around to give him a warning. Then he turned around and came to the garage, skillfully pulled the threads apart, started the vehicle, and then rushed out of the door and escaped. Unexpectedly, 7th brother stuck his head out from the back seat halfway. Uncle Da braked and put him on the road, but he still couldn't bear it and reversed the car and took him home. I am you. Chi-Gu accidentally turned over the box and found that he was a retired Special Forces soldier. The two slowly got along and became familiar with each other, and it was time to take the next step in history. The two of them were brewing their emotions when suddenly a bomb exploded on the roof. They got under the table to escape, but the killers outside did not want to let them go, so they set up their guns and started shooting at the house. The two of them were dodging around in the house. After a hail of bullets, it suddenly became quiet. The next second a rocket launcher came towards him. Uncle Da picked up Brother Chi and ran towards the elevator. He pulled the safety button and landed in the underground warehouse surrounded by fire. Then a shell struck again, and they hurriedly jumped into the underwater channel and exploded. In an instant, the house was surrounded by fire. They came to Uncle Da's other home through a secret underwater passage. Just when Uncle Da wanted to leave Chi-Gu completely and get rid of this big trouble, Chi-Gu revealed that the employer who was chasing him was engaged in human trafficking business. Currently, 400 people were imprisoned on a cargo ship. His father and sister were among them. As a retired soldier, Uncle Da naturally cannot sit idly by. Then they sneaked into their employer's office and threatened him at gunpoint to reveal the location of the cargo ship. However, he didn't panic at all, because Chi-Ge's father was his partner, and Uncle Da looked confused. Brother Chi saw that he couldn't explain, so he pointed his gun at Uncle Da. The next second, Brother Chi's father pushed open the door and came in, and his employer knocked Uncle Da unconscious. Then the police arrived and took Uncle Da back to the police station. He told everything in the police station, and the police chose to believe him and let him go out to solve the matter. Just as the truck was about to leave, Uncle Da jumped on it, but the driver spotted him and tried to use the sign to throw him off. There was no other way. Uncle Da jumped off the bridge, and the killer immediately chased him, but they were no match at all, and they were subdued without much effort. However, there were more and more killers, and they surrounded Uncle Da in the car. Even so, how could they beat the hilt of the sword with their tricks? Within a few minutes, he drove quickly to catch up, but the car broke down at this time. He looked up and saw the pesticide that was about to land. The plane hurriedly caught up and threatened the old man to give him a ride. Soon Uncle Da caught up with the train. He jumped off the plane and landed firmly on the car. Then he rolled his legs off the roof of the car, clamped his employer between his legs, threw him off the car with a hard shake, and then drove the car away. Stop in a safe place. At this moment, a gun was pointed at his head. It turned out to be Chi Ji's father. He asked Uncle Da to go to the river to kill him. There was a gunshot, and his brother's father's chest was exposed with blood. He slowly turned his head and it turned out to be his daughter. He couldn't watch his father continue to make mistakes, so he had no choice but to destroy his family. With the opening of the carriage, 400 refugees were also rescued.